Hello everyone and welcome. So today's video is a little bit different in that it's more vlogging style and not scripted. As you can see behind me, we're in my kitchen. But my plan for today was to show you my new setup and how I'm going to record my next video, as I'm going to have to change up the camera slightly, maybe readjust what they're mounted on, and I thought that would be quite interesting to show. So here is my home office setup studio, whatever you want to call it. So behind me I have my teleprompter, ring light, builder's light I sometimes use for decorating. It's also very bright. A little clingy tripod thing. I did have another use for, basically just carry around my camera, but it's actually quite handy for supporting this ring light. It's all a bit delicate, I'm not going to lie. This sometimes does fall down, but we work with what we have. Obviously headphones for editing, and here is where I sit my camera behind my teleprompter. So as you see this little enclosure here, it has to fully cover the camera, otherwise the LED light behind it bleeds through and I can't really read what's on the screen. So yeah, this bit here, it has to be pretty much in total darkness for it to work. My laptop normally sits here, but it's behind me at the minute, and obviously nice big monitor for editing, and there's a cup of tea on my desk if you can't see it. So yeah, when I make my videos, I actually read completely off a teleprompter, hence why I have it, because learning would take far too long because they're very dense. They're quite, I suppose, technical in some ways. Yes, there'll be a lot of memorization, and it is just a hell of a lot more efficient for me to just have a teleprompter. And I would recommend, if anyone's videos are quite technical, that they get a teleprompter. I mean, they're not cheap. This one was about £200, but you save so much time on basically recording, editing. So in my opinion, it's worth the money, but I suppose it's where you are on your YouTube journey and what you want to invest. So the next part could be quite interesting if you've seen some of my videos. So as you may know, I tend to film on my daybed, and there is a bookcase behind me. However, it's not a real bookcase, it's actually a green screen. So if I pan this camera around, you might be able to see what I'm talking about. So yeah, I normally sit here, and this is where the bookcase is. Yeah, so if anyone didn't know that, it is all make-believe, depending on how well I've edited the video. So you might see the odd flicker if I haven't quite got the, I think it's the chroma key right. I don't know, just kind of winging it at this point. So next what I want to do is show you how I'm actually going to change up this setup to film my new video, which is the SoloDark run-through adventure that I'm kind of going to write and film as I go along. Right, so what I'm going to begin with is this mobile phone adapter, because my plan is to use this arm and record using my mobile phone. If I tighten this, it should fit quite nicely. Then I can place my phone in here and film the roles I do for encounters and stuff like asking the oracle and things like that. Cool, that's done. Now the tricky bit is to move this light to the center behind my monitor, because I kind of want my camera in front of it. Now I'm going to put my camera on a separate tripod behind there, because it won't work otherwise, because this is a table clamp and I want the light behind the camera, not off to the side or anything like that. So I need to put the camera in the middle, but because the light will be there, I need to put the camera directly onto the desk. So that will just be mounted onto a tripod. So what I'm going to do now is actually move that light, which is going to be a bit of a job, but needs must. So that worked all right. It got a little bit dicey. I did have to remove my cable basket, which is currently dangling on the floor. But yeah, so far so good. I thought that'd be a lot more work than what it was. So what I'm going to do next is I'll have to take the camera off to see how well it fits behind the light. I'm sure it'll be fine. I brought my monitor forward to give myself enough room to put the camera behind it. So yeah, fingers crossed. This should all be set up quite nicely in a bit. I've had a change of plan in that I want to put this arm on that table clamp there. What I might do is move that light back so it's not directly above the camera, and then attach the camera to the end of this arm, because I think that'll give me more flexibility than having a tripod directly on the desk behind the monitor, and it might kind of get in the way and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to try that now and see what happens. If it doesn't work, you'll obviously see. Actually, that works really well. I'm kind of glad I set it up this way, as it's a lot less hassle than having to get out another tripod, put the camera behind the monitor and all of that. So yeah, I'm really pleased. We're nearing the end now, so in a bit you'll see my full setup of how I'm going to film my new SoloDark adventure. So this is the final setup. As we can see, lovely little SoloDark guy down there. Dice tray, lovely iridescent glass dice. Notepad and pen, phone in its position, ready to record, LED light, space for camera, headphones if I need them, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm really happy with this setup actually, and because I don't have that tripod behind the monitor, it's enabled me to push the keyboard and gel wrist pad back, so it gives me a lot more room for just, yeah, my Shadowdark stuff that I'll be using. Obviously, here's a lovely hardback Shadowdark manual. Yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I'm glad I've taken you on this little desk rearranging journey with me. If you like this video, please do like and subscribe, and if you want to see more behind the scenes vlogs, I'm more than happy to make them, as it makes a nice change from having to do heavily scripted videos. Those will still be coming out once a week though. These vlogs at the minute are kind of like little bonus videos midweek. But I would like to try and get 2 videos out, and because vlogs don't require a script, it means I can just film and edit on the go, so they are much quicker to make. So yeah, if you do enjoy them, let me know and I'll definitely make some more. So, bye for now.